Hello, investors. This is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today's Tuesday, October 14th, about 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Come to tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state still in a short-term pullback. Lots of volatility. If you take a look, trend gauge over here. Market leaders that still have that yellow sub arrow. Short-term RSP and mid caps are struggling to reclaim their 21 EMA. S&Ps close right at it today. IWM and the Qs above. Medium term, major indexes bounced at the 50-day on the gap down this morning, and then long term above the 200-day moving average. What happened today? Just very choppy market with many headlines and volatility. You know, Powell was speaking today. More headlines coming from Trump about China, the back and forth, and that's just contributing to a lot of the volatility, elevated range, fake outs, and all that stuff. So here are the final numbers. 21 over 21 list was down 3.45%. That was largely attributed to ALAB down 19%. And as fast as they go up, they go down two times faster. That's a prime example, but only 3 green, 18 red on the day. Turbo 12 up 0.66%, 6 green, 6 red, so pretty neutral on the day. Big 8 down 1.05%, RG8 up 0.21%. Nice outperformance in small caps up 1.41%. 60/40 stock and bond flat. Flagship portfolio GROTECTION down 0.59%. And then TurboTection down 0.57% as well. Let's get into the inter-as correlation and try the S&P 500. And as you can see, was gapping down this morning almost a percent and then quickly off the open found support at the 50-day moving average you can see and Friday's low, and then rallied back up, and then right here, Trump, there was a headline, Trump considering terminating business with China on cooking oil and other trade elements. So is it that important? I don't really think so. I don't know. But again, market sold off on it. So you can just see very news driven market. I don't know. The algos react to these headlines, but just pretty choppy. But really looking at the daily close just right at the 21, still below the 8 EMA and holding the 50-day. So obviously these lows in the 50-day are a line in the sand, and see if the indexes can get back above the 21. RSP relative strength here, bullish engulfing, trying to reclaim all the moving averages. QQQ, again, similar thing as the S&P 500, held these lows, closed right at the 21. Mag 7, similar thing. Dow Jones relative strength, nice bullish engulfing candle today, back above all key moving averages. Good look there. Mid caps again following suit with some of the rate sensitive sectors outperforming, in small caps. Nice bullish engulfing today, but you can just see the last 3 days have just been very wide and loose across the board. Russ 2000 new all-time high close. That's very bullish, and major relative strength closed the day up 1.38%. And see if this can close firmly above 2,500 tomorrow. But this is a great look. And this is, again, been talking about this multi-year base going back to 2021, looking like it might want to break out here. So that's a great sign for the market. ARC undercut and reclaim of the 21, just very choppy. Perhaps it just needs to base around. FFTY, big wick off the 21-day. VIX volatility still staying elevated. And as this stays above 20, expect volatility, and that's what we're seeing. Just the headlines are a big reason, but again, would love to see the VIX back down off 20, get back into that 16 to 18 region. But for now, we are in an environment with VIX above 20. The dollar trying to bottom out here, got a downtrend line here. It's retesting. Gold continuing its historic run, very extended, but that could have been said many times the past couple weeks, but new highs again. GDX flagging out here. Silver again, just extended. Bitcoin relative weakness continues, and maybe this is a stage 3 top. Stage 3 tops are characterized by lots of volatility, failed breakout, failed breakout, failed breakdown, failed breakdown. So now what's it going to do when if it comes back to this 61, or it's just building a big range to break out? Bonds continue to be strong. TLT, same thing. Nice look here. Big, big stage one base to just tailwind for bonds and rates moving lower. Seeing some of the strength, some of the rate sensitive sectors. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Percent of stocks with a 5-day moving average that shot back up to 65 after being extremely oversold on Friday and Monday. Some news wise, China sanctioned 5 US linked subsidiaries. Oracle deploys 50,000 AMD GPUs. AMD really shining the last couple of weeks. And then Powell was speaking today. He said, maybe approaching end of balance sheet contraction in coming months. He said, current Fed policy toolkit working very well. Outlook hasn't changed much since September Fed meeting, so it looks like there's going to be more rate cuts into the end of the year. And again, that's bullish small caps and these rate sensitive sectors that outperformed today. Today's keys, S&P closed right at the 21 above the 50-day. Q's green arrow just slightly above the 21, but nice bounce off the 50-day. And then Russell, flying colors above the 21 and the 50-day. And going into Wednesday, going to be watching similar things. Day count, up to maybe consolidation 1, 3 days below the 8 EMA, 2 days under the 21 EMA. Want to see a powerful close back above. Sectors wise, uranium, home builders, regional banks, financials, biotech strong on the day, Bitcoin, cybers, tech, software all week on the day. GROTECTION today bought a position in URTY, which is a small cap ETF, and then stopped out of Palantir and Bitcoin 1.12 beta minus 4.2% balance at risk. TurboTaction bought GEV and TNA, and then sold NVIDIA 1.28 RVAB minus 4.88% balance at risk. Bottom line, choppy market with headlines and volatility. All right, let's get into some charts. GROTECTION stopped out of Palantir. This one's just becoming very choppy. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So maybe this breaks out, it'll be more linear. But again, perhaps this is a stage 3 top. Lots of volatility, massive move off the lows. I'm not here to make predictions, just interpreting what the chart is saying. And that's GROTECTION also stopped out of Bitcoin. So choppy. Turbo bought a position in GEV. Nice hold of this Power 3 setup, one of the best looking bases in the market right now. And in a super hot theme, RS line got back above the 21s. This one's looking very healthy. Got back in TNA and then sold NVIDIA. We're potentially looking at a failed breakout from this base, close at the lows of the day, potentially losing the 50-day moving average, and this RS line might be crossing below the 21 day. So again, not a strong breakout from a 10-week base that you would like to see if you're a buyer. And totally, it's like good above this line, bad below, and prices below that line. So we'll see in the coming weeks. But again, it's very lackluster and, better semiconductors out there. AMD, after this gap's been better. Some names like, more in the computer data storage, but Micron's been shown about better relative strength, which you own in Turbo. But that was the trades today. Let's take a look at 21 over 21 list. MP continues to be a star and one of the outliers. This is owned in both portfolios, making another new high as the rare earth theme is stronger than ever. So maybe some names starting to get a little bit extended, but for the most part, this is where the money's flowing. Tons of catalysts. BE, another one. GROTECTION owns this. This is acting phenomenal. Continuing higher. Palantir covered that, but again, held the 50-day. This is a good line in the sand moving forward regardless. First Solar sitting at the 21-day. This has got a big base, but look at how choppy it's been. No real linearity. So maybe this needs a catalyst to gap up and get some more volume and trend. DoorDash just forming this cup and handle base below this 278.15 pivot. LEU, we own this in TurboTaction, continuing higher, riding the 8 EMA, and monster stock. GDX flagging at the highs, potentially on watch for another breakout. Tesla, this one's looking good again. Owned in both portfolios. Potentially, sold some into the pot from this 360 breakout, but now this is flagging off the 21 day. Although this does have earnings next week, but again, this is acting pretty good and consolidating this big move. Could be on watch for potential add. MDB just kind of forming, consolidating in this box range. Net coming against downtrend line. Fun sport at the 50-day moving average. Snowflake pause at 250. Now potentially starting to handle out. Micron, high tight flag here. These computer data storage stocks are strong. STX, although relative weakness, losing the 21. Robinhood sitting at the 21. Nvidia covered that. CoreWeave continues to build higher lows, but so many catalysts last month and unable to really fall through. Try to get back above 150 or rejected, and it's just been yeah, it just can't follow through. So we'll see if this starts to lose the 21 day and that'd be a red flag. NVIS doing nothing wrong, stair stepping higher, building higher lows, riding the EMA. IONQ, these quantum stocks are relentless. Inside day here, below $80. Arista Networks, character change here, breaking this uptrend and the 50-day moving average. Not a great look there. Credo, major relative weakness today. Moving lower out of this bear flag, down almost 14% on, 100% above average volume. That's a really bad look for, one of these AI leaders that's been a powerhouse since the April lows. And again, I did a whole segment teaching you guys about what happens when this RS line crosses below the 21, right? It looked like it was trying to pop back up, but where did that RS line reject? And that coincides with price breaking down from bear flag as well. But this is not a good look. See, breaking the 10-week moving average as well. And then A-Lab, another one. This was a huge winner for Turbo, but have been out for a couple weeks now and just down 20% on 200% above average volume. I'm not sure what the news was, but again, not really. The stock is, gone from 262 highs all the way back to 161. So this is getting hit pretty hard lately. Definitely a red flag for this one. See if it can start to find support weekly. Doesn't look horrible, but still, this is a pretty nasty weekly bar. So potentially these highs could act as support. All right, that's 21. So you can see, some of the 21 over 21 lists got demolished today. All right, Turbo 12. SoundHound, nice breakout today. Out of a huge base, up 9% on nice volume. Irene, this one, the stock defies gravity. Another hit 70 today and just continuing higher. Again, absolutely not viable up here. Could it go higher? Sure, but the risk to reward just isn't your favor. And this one just continues. It's pretty crazy the move. SYM, this is a bright spot from today as well. Nice cup and handle kind of base breakout. Leader in the robotics theme. Metsi, another rare earth name, talking about this ascending base breakout and starting to go parabolic. BE. SMR in the alternative energy, potentially breaking out, is although you could call this a laggard versus Oklo and stuff like that. SCCO starting to flag at the highs after a strong move up. Carmen just continues to trend higher. PAAS continues to build higher lows. Tempest, very choppy, right? Everyone that's holding is probably like, wow, this is finally breaking out, and then just comes right back in down 4 days. Just such a hard trading stock and holding stock, really just a ginormous multi-year range of just up, down, never trading linearly. Sandus is one of the best charts in the market to me, building a high tight flag. Again, the environment hasn't been friendly, so probably less likely to work. But again, noting really nice setup in a strong group, pretty strong fundamentals as well. And then IO and Q inside day, right under this 80 level. Quantum computing stocks continue to be extremely strong. So yeah, it was pretty strong day given the market gapping down and buyers coming in. But again, the bottom line is just really it's very choppy. And after a very strong move off the April lows, the way that most people give away all their profits is chop. It's not really a downtrend. It's easy to kind of spot that and go to cash, but it's in these choppy markets where you're still seeing breakouts and then they start failing, win rate goes lower. So to me, just approaching this market with some caution and just after seeing a lot of the chop right now. Definitely stock pickers market, but again, first step, all the indexes reclaiming the 21 EMA with volume and then just seeing some better action in stocks because for every Irene there's an A lab. So some weakness under the hood, but again, some themes are really strong like MP and some of the rare earths. So that's pretty much the bottom line. So that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com, or you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. You can reach out to me on Twitter at ConnorJBates_. Phone is 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, as always, please reach out. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.